In 2023, professional comedian artist Eric Omondi took to the street to Parliament together with other muscular men to protest about the cost of living. In 22nd May 2024, Senator Okia Omtata moved to court to reject the Finance Bill 2024, saying it was rushed, it lacked proper public participation, which poses a huge question to members of Parliament on whether they are accountable to executive or citizens who elected them to Parliament. For the ordinary Kenyan, corruption is not an abstract concept, it's a daily reality. Corruption has become the currency of politics, and public trust has been the first casualty. Kenya, a nation of boundless potential, where the spirit of its people is vast as its landscapes. But beneath this vibrant surface lies a tale of betrayal, a story of a country held back by the very people sworn to uplift it. In 1963, Kenya gained independence, a new dawn for millions who had long suffered under colonial rule. The promises were grand unity, progress, and prosperity, but the seeds of corruption were planted early, taking root deep within the nation's governance structures. Reports from Transparency International globally Kenyan ranked 126 out of 180 countries. 8 out of every 10 Kenyans believe all government officials are corrupt. From the Kenyan police to the courts, people believe justice is bought. The entire system is against the poor. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta claimed that almost 2 billion Kenyan shillings is lost every day through corruption. With poor road connectivity, delayed government services, tribalism, increased arrogance from the political class, nepotism, something had to give way. In 25th June 2024, Kenyans led by Gen Z united not only in social media but in solidarity to occupy Parliament to reject Finance Bill 2024. In recent years, a new generation has risen to challenge the status quo. Born into a world where corruption has always been the norm, Kenya's Gen Z is refusing to accept the legacy of misrule handed down to them. We grew up hearing about scandals, seeing our parents struggle, and watching our leaders get richer while we got poorer. Enough is enough. We are the future of this country, and we won't stand by and let it be stolen from us. Harnessing the power of social media, these young Kenyans have organized one of the largest corruption protests in nation's history. Their message is clear. The old ways must end, and a new era of transparency and accountability must begin. In this moment, the power of peaceful protest is undeniable. These young Kenyans are not just fighting for their future, they are redefining what it means to be Kenyan, bold, resilient, and unyielding in the face of injustice. This is not just a protest, it's a movement, a generation that refuses to be silenced, that demands more from its leaders, and that is willing to fight
for their rights, but they have arrested me, they have beaten me.
Si ati niko nao mama nikitoa machozi hivi. Si ati nalia mimi nafurahi.
Wakina baba, wakina mama na watoto
struggle for justice, the voices of the people are often met with heavy hand of the state. In Kenya, peaceful protests have too often been met with violence, as those in power seek to silence dissent. We were there to make our voices heard, to demand change, but instead of listening, they came at us with tear gas and bullets. They treated us like criminals just for wanting a better future. For many, the reality of police brutality is not just a headline, it's a lived experience. The state's response to peaceful protest has often been swift and brutal, leaving deep scars on the nation's collective memory. Police brutality in Kenya is not a new phenomenon, but the scale and intensity of the violence against peaceful protesters have shocked the conscience of the nation. It's a direct assault on the rights of the people to speak out against injustice. But even in the face of brutality, the spirit of resistance remains unbroken. For every baton strike, every tear gas canister, there is a renewed resolve to fight for a Kenya free from corruption and oppression. The battle for Kenya's future is fought not just in the halls of power, but in the streets where the people demand their voices be heard. And in the face of brutality, it's clear that this generation will not back down. For every story of suffering, there is a story of resilience. In the face of corruption and brutality, Kenyans are not just victims, they are also architects of new vision for their country. A vision where justice, accountability, and transparency are not just ideals, but realities. Education is the key to change. We are all teaching and doing civic education to all corners of Kenya. Across the country, innovative minds are harnessing technology to fight corruption. From apps that track government spending to platforms that allow whistleblowers to report anonymously, these tools are empowering citizens to take control of their future. We are using technology to shine light on corruption. When the people know where the money is going, it becomes much harder for those in power to steal from them. Transparency is the first step towards accountability. The road ahead is long and fraught with challenges, but Kenya is on the path to renewal. The people have spoken. Their message is clear. A new dawn is rising, and with it, the hope for a brighter, more just future.